Hello everyone, my name is Deniz. I'm event coordinator of Dunaj Instytut Dialogu. Welcome to the third session of our webinar series. We are happy to have you with us today. And today's session will be presented by Mr. İlkay, who will share two inspiring and practical eco actions that each of us can make a small but real differences for the environment. And before we begin, just a quick note, this webinar is being recorded. And now I'll hand it over by İlkay. We are looking forward to learning from your experience. Welcome, Mr. İlkay.
Thank you very much for having me, letting me have this honor to present this. First of all, my name is İlkay. I'm Turkish and I live here in Poland. I would be happy to see your faces and tell me about yourselves in the chat, or maybe take the mic and tell me about yourself very shortly. Where are you from, and what do you do? What made you to be here? And then we can slowly move to the presentations. All right. No reaction. All right. Anyone?
Everyone know each other. I think that's
Yeah, we met once, I think.
okay. I'm Sert. I'm İshak from Lithuania, from Turkey, but I live in Lithuania. I'm a Turkish language teacher. I'm from Baltic Turkish Culture Academy. Nice to meet you.
Nice. Another person from Lithuania, but also from Turkey. Greetings from Frankfurt. Nice. We have some friends from Germany. Great. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I think slowly we can start the presentation. When I look this title of the presentation, From Gardens to Green Buildings, Practical Eco Actions, which actually reminds me the fact that the world is changing now, and then we, like in the past, don't have the gardens, right? Not that much anymore, unfortunately. Or maybe this is the way it is, that it is changing. The generation is changing. In the past, everybody had their gardens, maybe, but right now, the lifestyle is changing, and we have to figure out some ways to have the green in the buildings or around the buildings somehow. And we're going to focus on some of the practical ecological actions today. So eco actions and cleanup. This is the first. I'm going to present you two different activities today. One of them is about eco action cleanup, and the second one is called minimization. So the first one is the cleanup part. So when do we use this activity? Actually, we can use this anytime, but it would be, of course, better to use this one when the weather is, warmer and people could go outside. It is a great activity, and it's a great excuse for us to go to the authorities actually and say, hey, we are the activists of somewhere, and we would like to build relationships between people and also be helpful to the community and the environment itself. Help us. And then most of the time, if you are like having this action towards authorities, they could show you some spaces, or they could help you with finding the place, and of course gather around more people from the local side as well. So activity type, of course, this is an outdoor activity. And target group, we are trying to activate the young people mostly, but of course everybody is welcome to join to our events. Community leaders, activists, the mayors of the districts, anybody could join. Kindergartens, schools, university students, of course migrants and local communities could also join. This would be a great excuse to have something in common, and do something good for the society together between locals or migrants. So what kind of skills or talents this activity address is that it can cultivate the teamwork and leadership, and it can raise the awareness of environmental responsibility, problem solving and critical thinking skills. Of course, intercultural communication is something that these days very much needed to be developed. And practical green skills like sorting waste, upcycling, awareness. Any questions, by the way, or anything to add? Please do stop me because I can talk like forever. I don't wanna get you. I don't want you to get bored all of a sudden, and just do please have me your input. Materials needed. Of course, there is some certain materials that needs to be provided by your side by the cooperations that you are working with, which is like, of course, having the trash bags. Maybe you could differentiate them by colors. That you could use maybe different colors for each group of trash. Eco-friendly materials, of course, would be the best to use, and of course to motivate your audience, you could use some strategies like certificates or some eco-friendly gifts to recognize their participation. I remember once that we organized a cleanup activity, and the week after that, we invited them. Actually, the mayor of the district invited us to their place, and everybody who joined was rewarded by the certificate and by the mayor of this district, which was very honorable and very motivating, I think, for the audience who joined. So this type of strategies can make it more interesting, and maybe show the way that we are showing our gratitude towards the audience will increase the impact. Yes, the description. Well, the activity combines hands-on environmental action with community engagement by organizing a waste collection event in public space. The space can change. It can be parks, riverbanks, streets. Unfortunately, after some constructions, there might be some things that needs to be cleaned up. So these type of places are also possible for the cleanup activities places. How to use this activity? Well, first, at the beginning of the event, introduction part is very crucial and very needed. A little briefing that, okay, guys, we gather around today for the purpose of cleaning this area. A little briefing, maybe introduction, and the explanation of the materials and how do we do it, because sometimes if you're a lot of people, you need to make them groups, or if you're just a one big group, you can explain the rules there, because we are powerful as long as we're together and working together. And then the cleaning part starts like 45 or an hour or 60 minutes long. That teams collect waste in different zones, and then participants document types of waste like plastic, metal, organic. That is I think the most fun part, that you're collecting. No, and that's not actually the most fun part. The reflection part, because that part is the time that people connect more, and also maybe have something to drink or have something to eat. And they are also reflecting what they've gained and what they've learned. I know from experience that some of the participants, while we were, having this event, were telling me, or were telling our friends, that I'm gonna be more careful about the trash cans or the trash that I am causing, and I am I will be more careful from now on I'm gonna be more, eco-friendly. So, experience is the key here. Once you have the experience, then you can be more, aware and pay more attention outside and to nature. And creative awareness campaign, you can, use different posters, short videos after the event or before the event or during the event. You can make them all. And, in order to spread awareness, you can use every channel as much as possible. Anything to add, maybe? Anyone from the audience, from your experience, or? No, okay, I'm gonna give you the space in a minute. So tips for the learners: be mindful of the usage of the gloves, avoid some dangerous things, work as a team and encourage collaboration, of course, discuss the impact of waste on ecosystems and local communities, think of creative solutions, what can be reused, repurposed, or upcycled. I'm going to ask you a few questions in a while, so be ready. Share your cultural perspectives and how does your community deal with waste, which is another idea, because from culture to culture, some practices can change and we can, it can be a bit misleading at the first sight. But once we, sit and talk about them, we can use different strategies from different angles to use it for the benefit of the society that we're living in together. There are some recommendations about the tool. I'm sure you will be provided these links where you can reach out these articles and documents. And yes, there are some questions. On average, how much waste is generated globally every day? More than 15 million tons. That is a lot. In some cultures, waste separation is a mandatory practice, while in others, it is rarely enforced. What is the one major barrier preventing global adaptation of proper waste of segregation? High costs and lack of infrastructure in some reunions, one of the reasons. And these are like some fact-based questions and answers. Certain traditional or indigenous communities have long practiced sustainable waste management before modern recycling systems were introduced. Which of the following is an example of this? And the correct answer is the use of banana leaves instead of plastic plates in some Asian cultures, which is, for me, entirely something different, right? I've never thought of this. Which of the following materials is not recyclable, which is like food waste? This is why exactly it should be separated from other waste. If you wanted to reduce your personal waste footprint starting today, what is the most practical first step you could take? Conducting a waste audit to understand how much and what kind of waste you produced. So, before we move to the question, any input? Maybe from Germany or from Lithuania, please, the floor is yours. I can also ask this question that, well, the answer is already written here, but still, how do different cultural traditions influence waste habits? So there's like people from Germany here. How do you do it there? And people from Lithuania, how is it like there? And maybe people from Poland or Turkey or Turkey, they could share their insights and perspective. And meanwhile, I can catch my breath. Come on, guys, help me out here.
Okay, I can intervene, if I may.
Of course, please.
Yes, so in Lithuania, I think we are less successful than people in Germany because the waste management, such as like recycling, it's not so. It started not so long ago as in Germany, because when I was babysitting, like being an au pair girl in Germany, I was surprised how people recycle everything and they separate trash and so on. So we started maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago. And so far, I don't know how successful it is, but one of the very successful projects in Lithuania was plastic bottle collection. I don't know why, because it hasn't like you still pay the deposit, which you can get back, but it's not that much. But still, somehow it motivates people, and it's been very successful here. So yeah, so that's all from my side.
Thank you very much.
I can also add something. I live in Warsaw in Poland, and I realize that older people, for example, often try not to throw things away. I mean, they grew up during tougher times, so they're used to saving stuff, fixing things, and not wasting food. That mindset still sticks with a lot of people. But at the same time, younger generations are more influenced by, let's say, modern Western lifestyles, more packaging, more fast food, more stuff in general. And that can lead to more waste, even if people don't always realize it. And there's also more talk now about being eco-friendly, especially in cities, but people are trying to recycle more, use less plastic, and be more mindful about what they throw away. So yeah, it's kind of a mix. Old habits meet new trends, and both shape how waste is handled in everyday life.
Thank you very much. How about Germany? Our friends maybe could share something.
I can say something about Germany, maybe.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah, please.
Okay, I would say, like the other person also said, it's thick in the society, and I think it depends on the city, but when you're like in Hamburg or somewhere else, they really take care of like putting the trash and like selecting them, and they care how they waste and what they waste. And I think, for example, when they use the bottle, they use it twice. Yes, I think they take care of this, actually.
And also secondhand products are commonly used. We have even a system, an app for that, and people consider, instead of buying a new thing, just using secondhand products, and it actually reduces waste too.
Thank you very much, everyone. Anybody else maybe wants to? Or hold that thought. Maybe you can move to the second part, because we have another activity here, cultural integration through the use of minimization. Okay, let's talk about that. Minimization is something that is, providing this space of mindset that we could think of, how do I, not waste, or how do I minimize the amount of wasting, or maximize the product that I'm using, the benefits of this product. So when do we use it? Community engagement programs, intercultural events, environmental awareness workshops, youth camps, and school sustainability projects. Of course, depending on your position or depending on your community, you can use this with more. Well, we try to use it mostly with young people. Of course, anybody can join. Community leaders, migrants, and local working together on sustainability. And activity type, which is, we need to be with people, to teach eco-friendly activities. So it is an offline activity. And what kind of talents that we are cultivating here? Environmental awareness and sustainable consumption, intercultural communication and teamwork, which is something that we are also touching with any events that we are doing here in Warsaw, at least. Creativity in upcycling and waste reduction, problem solving and critical thinking. I'm going to ask you some questions about this critical thinking and problem solving later on. So of course we need some materials to do that, because this is a group work, but we're not actually taking something practical as an action in this event. This is more like having the ideas and reflecting on them, and then maybe we could move to the practical part and have event in the future. So the materials can change, but the description is: participants will explore how different cultures practice waste minimization. Like you all mentioned, that in Lithuania it's a bit different. In Poland it's a bit different. In Germany it's a bit different. So we need to be able to find out those differences and try to make them use on our share. So, and then once we find out this difference, then different strategies. So we could maybe find out ways to apply these ideas to reduce, the waste production, and then have maybe better environment and better world. So this during this event we can have time to reflect on other cultures, and at least I thought, oh, okay, well, they do it differently. Maybe you could use this strategy as well, because most of the time we encounter limitations, right? Sometimes personal limitations, sometimes from the authorities we do not get the sufficient support. Maybe these different strategies or different ways of solving problems might work on our side. Like the first cleanup event, we use the first 15 minutes of the meeting for the introduction and group formation. We try to make the group as multicultural as possible in order to have more, fruitful results. And the second part is the cultural research and brainstorming, where the groups are discussing the strategies of waste minimization, and of course explore how it can be adapted to the modern life, because sometimes they are very outdated, so you need to update the strategies without losing its value. And then they will move to the demonstration part, where we have the presentations, hands-on demonstration. Each group can present their poster, their presentation, or their, it's their time on the stage. So afterwards, of course, we're going to have some reflection and discussion part, where everybody can learn and share their ideas, and of course asking questions, discussing them, and then encouraging every participants that are on the event, in a sense that we can face those challenges and we can overcome them with many or various strategies together. And the last but not least, we could of course explore the differences and different cultures, different approaches to the same problem, and maybe use them to our benefit if possible. Tips for the learners: think about how these traditional methods can be used in the modern urban settings. Compare waste reduction habits from your own cultural background. Find maybe one personal change you can make to minimize waste. So, there are some strategies for the group and there are some strategies for the personal life. So everybody can at least take something for themselves. These are the few tips that was prepared. So there's some questions here. What is the for our principle in waste management, which is refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. That can be some, very short reminder for ourselves. And why is waste minimization more effective than just recycling it? That's a great question. I actually want to ask this question to the audience today. Why is waste minimization more effective than just recycling? Any thoughts, maybe? Of course, the answer written there, but I don't want to hide it from you. Our friends from Germany, maybe? From the academy, I can see.
Do you mean me?
Yeah, it can be you.
I think because recycling needs more than minimization, because like you have to get it first and then you have to recycle it, and that's why minimalization is more effective because you do not do it in the first place. You're not buying it. You're like, yeah.
So it's like, not getting sick is easier than to treat yourself, right?
Yes.
So on the first side, you need to be, you need to be
Yes.
careful at first. The easier strategies to not get sick, right?
Yes.
So I think it can be, a bit similar to this, that, being living minimal than just trying to recycle everything, would be easier than this. And the third question, what percentage of global waste could be reduced through better waste minimization practices? Which 50%, that's crazy number. 50%, which means, you can maybe read it. Of course, there's like exceptions but we can simply make the world 50% better, right? So which of the following is the most effective way of cities to reduce landfill waste? Past this one, by 2050, global waste generation is expected to increase by what percentage compared to current levels? That is even more than the last question, which is 70%, which is very high. That actually says, well, these are the facts that, we need to be more into ecological actions. These facts sometimes helps. So here are some questions for our audience. I'm gonna have at least one sentence from each country, let's say. What are the highest personal challenges in practicing waste minimization, and how can individuals overcome them? Maybe I will start with Lithuania. Anybody from Lithuania here who wanna share? Or Poland or Germany, doesn't matter. The biggest personal challenge.
That's weird, but I want to answer this question actually.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I have the feeling like the people of the age of mine, they have the feeling of fear of missing out something like FOMO. And I guess it's with clothes, it's with things, and it's with stuff that we need. And I have the feeling that we need so much for getting because we're also using this social media a lot. And we're seeing the stuff that others have, and that's why we also have to have it. And that's why I think we have to learn to be happy with less things. And I think that's the personal challenge, actually.
Thank you very much for sharing. It was really valuable. Anyone else? Some personal challenges, or maybe some strategies that you use for those challenges?
For example, some sustainable products can seem more expensive upfront, and how can we overcome it? We can think long term. A reusable item might cost more once, but you'll save money over time. And also many zero waste habits are actually cheaper.
Right. For me personally, like separating the waste, right? As a kid in Turkey, back in Turkey, I wasn't, just only one trash bin that we used to use, right? But moving to Poland and then slowly everything getting more ecological. Of course, in Turkey, there are some things, of course, changed. But as a kid, it wasn't like this. For me, it was the first time, like, how do you do this? Like 4 different bins, or maybe for some people it's 5 and 6. So it was like personal challenge for me. But as long as you're aware, because I wasn't informed, right? Like, how do I do this? Because there are some materials that there's like stain on it. Is it like plastic or is it others? Like, but after I've received some practical lectures, it was easier for me. So yeah. And the second question, maybe, how can governments and industries take responsibility for waste minimization instead of putting the burden on consumers? Yes, sometimes we have these burdens on ourselves. What should we expect from the authorities, guys? So I'm guessing nothing. We should do it all ourselves because governments don't help at all. All right. I don't know how the government in Germany or in Lithuania, but in Poland, it's not the way that maybe it's not as much as it's expected, because from time to time I see people on the street collecting some signatures. Hey, don't let Warsaw go, bad in terms of environment, because a lot of high buildings and construction signed this petition, and we don't let that happen. These type of activists you can see from time to time. Yeah.
And maybe they can increase penalties or provide financial support for recycling.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah, and in Lithuania, I think it's going to like a small steps, taking small steps day by day. So maybe government supports more, the people encourage more.
Right. I think the bigger the event is, the more attention that you get from the authorities. So once you have their attention, then you can sit down and negotiate, right? So this is quite the deal.
Maybe,
anything else? Yeah.
And maybe repairing can be more cheaper, because in European the electronics devices, when you are like get something's happen, so when you go to the like a repair shops, it costs more than when you can like buy new one. So everyone wants to like buy a new one instead of the repair. So maybe this can be more cheaper.
So you're saying buying new ones is way cheaper than just repairing it?
Yeah, generally.
Oh no, yeah. Is it the deal in like Germany or in Poland? I'm not quite sure. But generally speaking, I think the fixing part was quite expensive.
Yeah, it's more cheaper.
Yeah. And this is something that this is for the future. Yeah, for the future notes, we could take that. All right. Let's slowly. If we don't have any more ideas, any other input, we have this agricultural toolkit. Maybe my friend will send it to the chat. or I'm sure you have this one on your drive. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. Yes, I think I'm done. Any questions? Any other, I don't know, comments, reflections? Thank you for your participation.
Thank
If
you.
not,
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
nice.
Thank you so
I wish you have a nice rest of the day.
Thank
And
you.
yes, peace.